All right. To anyone who's watching, listening to this, you are watching or listening a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays indie tabletop role playing games online. That's all sorts of cool stuff done with the Gauntlet. You can find kind of like the hub of that at gauntlet-rpg.com, where you'll find blogs and forums and all sorts of things, podcasts involving indie tabletop role playing games. In fact, I think the Gauntlet podcast just put out a new episode today, um, which is all about talking to the Gauntlet community and all the games folks have played. There's also the zine that the Gauntlet puts out called Codex. That's part of Gauntlet Publishing. We're also behind such games like Trophy and Hearts of Wulin. There's also the Gauntlet Community Open Gaming weekend, which is kind of like a mini con where folks from outside the Gauntlet can come play with ourselves. The next one is the last weekend of June, so starting from the 24th to the 27th. It's it's a it's a lot of games. Where there are also a lot of games is the Gauntlet calendar, to which this game and many others are arranged. This is kind of like our first proper session of BALIKBAYAN, Returning Home by Jamila Najadi. Last time we did a character creation, and now we're going to jump right in with characters. Speaking of these characters, um, we have one player who is late. We'll loop them in when they get here. But yeah, if it's okay. For those who don't know, Balikbayan is a kind of like magic cyberpunk game about elementals trying to reclaim, their home or their sense of self after in a dystopian corporate cyberpunk society, explicitly magical creatures or people, myths, people of legend who are trying to carve out their place in the world. But who are these people? So if it's okay, let's go left to right and kind of just introduce yourselves and pronouns and yeah, and tell us about your characters. So, Bodhi, if you would like to kick us off.
So, hi, I'm Bodhi, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm playing Encircling Sky, or Sky for short, pronouns also they, them. And Sky is a duata, and specifically which is a, I can kind of, elemental in the purest sense, can directly control kind of fire, wind, water, earth. And in Sky's specific case, Sky is a forest spirit who was plucked out of their forest by the corp and tricked into managing the corporate network by being falsely kind of fed the sensorium that it was a forest, and eventually managed to see through this and escape with the help and helping quest, played by Stephen, who will be introduced soon. And yeah, so my human, kind of more visually, my human form is very kind of tall and slight and androgynous. I have a cube that does all my speaking for me, because I do not I do not speak of myself with my mouth when in human form, and my true form is a beautifully designed shape-shifting robot made of the rarest wood and brightest flowers.
Hell yeah. Oh, can you also tell us what you hope for?
Oh yes, I hope to revive and rebuild the dying forest because I blame myself for the forest dying because I allowed myself to be ripped away from it in the first place. Whether that's actually true or not remains to be seen, but I certainly blame myself for it.
Well, given that it's going to take a while to unlock the forest, you might be in a bit of an uphill struggle, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Uh, up next, sorry, excuse me. Up next, Stephen, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Hi there, I am Stephen, he, him, and I am playing Quest, she, her, the righteous fury, that by which the impure and corrupt shall be burnt away and hunted down. I shall bring a righteous fury to this city and make it better for it. In my seeming, I am I am teched out as one of the god hunters of the corp, with prayer beads running under my skin that judder and move about of their own accord when in the presence of divinity and magic. And in my true form, I am a giant blue woman of wielding various holy implements and weapons. Last time we saw me, I was communing with oh, I forget, I think one of the angels who is currently a military satellite orbiting the Earth.
I forgot about that. Cool. Mm. That was the coffee. That was not just me reacting to that. What do you hope for, Quest?
Oh yes, I hope to find the parasite god that is feeding on the heart of the city, and replace it with a new one.
Yeah, I think we have an inkling of who that is, from the character creation that happened.
Yes, there's a whole lot of drama surrounding traveling into the underworld and all that.
Yeah,
Was it like a very Izanagi? I think that's the one that's
Yes.
famous for that, right?
Yes, yes. That's great. Cool. Well, this person, this NPC we need to give a name of, is kind of like was intimate in link to our next character, who is being played by Donna. So I'll let you introduce yourself and
Yeah.
said character.
Hi, my name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Euphoric Fear, she, who is an Aswang. I guess you would say that she is a creature of blood and darkness, the kind of which civilized humans kind of equally dread and hope for. To her friends, Euphoria or Fee, wearing, I guess, a carefully crafted smirk and AI clothing. Their true form, though, is dark wood and blackened wire dripping with blood and gore. So something, I guess, relatively scary. Yeah, relatively. The history here is complicated by aforementioned elemental, now god, who has returned, who was Euphoria's almost lover in a previous life. And I guess what Euphoria hopes for is to fall in love for the first time.
I mean, let's be fair. She was everyone's almost lover in a past life.
Yeah, that's true.
From as we found out.
Until I killed her. Accidentally, I hasten to add.
Yeah, and I blame myself, which is fair. Harsh, but fair. What was I thinking?
Yeah, thinking. I've noticed this. Thinking doesn't seem the strong suit of an Aswang. They're very they're very feedback driven.
I mean, you've got to drink all that blood. I mean, no time for
Who wants
thought.
to think about that, in fairness?
Yeah, let's think about the ramifications of that. Cool. So Mario, you just came in, so I'm not gonna like make you like introduce yourself just as you came in. So instead, what I'm gonna do is gonna talk about the safety tools that we're using, and then after that, we'll introduce yourself, giving them some time to get situated. So we look through our lines and veils and ask first. For those who don't know, lines are like things won't be crossed, just won't show up in fiction. They also kind of like things that can happen in fiction, but we're not gonna concentrate on it. Like happens off screen, or camera pans away and whatnot, or gets a sentence or two. And there's stuff that are asked first, which are basically if they do show up in the fiction, we will talk to the table first and just make sure we're all kind of like in the same page. We're also using elements of script change, which are basically like set of commands that will let you have closer control of the game, so to speak. So they're all in the safety tab for the players, for us here on the table. So if you've seen a remote control, I don't know if whippersnappers know what a remote control is. I don't know. I'm not down with the kids. I don't know what they do.
It's a rectangle, you see, that was used in olden times in order to enact magics upon our electronics.
Nowadays, these young whippersnappers using their snapgrams and their insta chats and their net tubes. I don't know. I don't know what they do these days. But yeah, no, script change. So on the table, I'll just like shout out the commands we have. There's pause, which we call for if you want to like check in about something. Say you have a question about the game. Say you have something you want to just talk about or just make clear. If you want to just pause the game to like take a break, well, that's more stop, but it's kind of like filtered around that. Stop is for like taking a break, which is part of like an open door policy we have here, where if you just step away from the table for any reason, or there's an emergency, or there's a you're more tired than you thought, you need to like step away, or you want to take a bio break, do that at any time. And that policy extends to myself. Just fast forward where we're just like, let's get to the next scene. Let's not linger in this moment for a variety of reasons. Maybe we don't need to linger, or we shouldn't linger. And then there's rewind, where you can call for like a change, retcon something that happened. We'll just turn back, try something else. It could be like any change, and we'll respect that if a rewind is called. Okay. So Mario, are you good with like introducing yourself and your character?
Yeah, I might not be fully into Mother Sleep yet, but I'm sure I'll be in a couple of minutes. So hey, my name is Mario. You see him pronouns. And I'm going to play Mother Sleep, the San Telmo. So Mother Sleep is, you could say, like the protector of the bridge to the underworld, but somehow that bridge got destroyed, so now she's sort of the troll under the bridge, trying to get the bridge back, trying to get some sort of bridge to the underworld back, and therefore is a bit overreacting when it comes to people who happen to be dead right now. So whenever you see her, you might be confronted with loved ones that died. So it's not always a pleasant experience meeting Mother Sleep, but I guess that is for most of the characters we've got here. None of them is like per se super friendly and nice. So she's in good company here. And as for the cyberpunk part, she's here to just bring down the corp and bring back the rebirth of magic, which hopefully will be the next bridge into the underworld.
Hopefully. We'll certainly work our way towards that. Cool. So, we're gonna start today by kind of like concentrating on the Haven, which is where y'all kind of situated, where maybe some of the NPCs, you know, situated. This is where it's kind of like the slice of this like nightmare city, that you're kind of like protecting the things that the place that you had carved out for yourself. Um, so kind of like the blurb for the Haven is, you know, when we first arrived in the city, we searched for safety. Soon we found others like us, the unseen and the broken, who hold on to hope as tightly as we do. Together, we can create home. So this is kind of like, you know, your home, specifically. We already kind of like built out our haven. Their leader is Risu, a Tikbalang, whose most of their magic has withered away. For those who don't know, Tikbalangs are kind of like, they are elementals who shapeshift. They're kind of like animal. They specifically hold the memories of long extinct animals, which in this case is all of the animals, including some of the more mythical ones. The aesthetics we got for our haven is, you know, it's got illegal shrines with like mundane objects made holy and sacred. So someone out there is probably worshiping, I don't know, an old Nokia flip phone or an N gauge. Imagine that. Yeah, kids these days, you know what an N gauge is. I doesn't look like anyone here does either. I'm sorry. Look it up.
Go on making your 80s references, Leander. Go on.
It's the early. It was the early 2000s. It was the Gizmondo of 2003. Anyway, I'm just gonna sorry. The other aesthetics are like small restaurants filled with noise and laughter, and like a small marketplace full of the scavenged and discarded. And there's so much going on between those two words, and there are kind of like threats involving, you know, corp broadcasts invading our psychic privacy, that try to like seek information, and then there are nearby gangs that kind of want their territory as well. There are moves that if you do those moves, it's like they're moves you can do, you gain tokens. They're in the city tab, so they're also part and parcel with your moves, which for those who don't know, Balikbayan, Returning Home, is a belonging outside belonging game, which means it's built on the framework of Dream Askew/Dream Apart by Avery Alder and Ben Rosenbaum, which means, you know, no dice, no masters, except in this case there's a GM, in this case. So no dice. Well, look, I'm not a master. The thing is, like, I play the rest of the world, but honestly, with the way moves work, I'm barely gonna be able to do much anyway. It'll be grand.
This is the Gauntlet. We'll mostly be making our own problems.
Yeah. It's look, if anyone here who doesn't know anything about the Gauntlet, let's just say that playing to lose is almost kind of like a commandment, among several tables. It's amazing, and weak moves play into that a lot. Yes, thanks, Mario. From the chat there. Okay, so we're kind of concentrated in the Haven, but you know, depending on how the story spirals, we will probably flesh out more of these other three parts of the city, which I'm going to share so anyone who's watching can see this. Just to like quickly run down what's different with Balikbayan. At least this version that's, I think, available only in Jeremy's Patreon at the moment. In that setting elements have kind of been truncated down to 3, and then we've got like city elements, where kind of like other parts of the city. So Balikbayan has kind of like been rebuilt into kind of like almost like a campaign kind of like game, where we'll flesh out more parts of the city, like the market, the sensorium, and the labs. And then at the end of the session, whatever tokens we have, we can spend them to unlock more stuff in those parts. Like at the start, you have these 2 moves, and maybe we'll start off with a market contact, but you can add more new moves, or new contacts. So the progression in this game is kind of like building out more of the world and more of the city. And once you've done enough, it's like 6 new moves, you reach the heart of the city. And then there's more stuff down here. Oh my gosh. What's up with that? Anyway, so that's kind of like, we're not gonna be able to do that since we have like this session and 2 more. But you know, for anyone who doesn't have access to Jeremy's Patreon, it's kind of like a taste of what's in this new version is going to be. But let's concentrate on the Haven first. Let's kind of like start with the Lost Tortoise, which is, as mentioned, is a cozy place where ramen is being served. I want to know what each of you are kind of like doing until you notice that there's this gang, this group of ruffians heading up towards the Lost Tortoise. And you don't even have to be like nearby. Maybe you're off talking to someone else, but like, what are you kind of like doing concurrently as kind of like this gang? Well, I'm gonna say right now, there's like 5 of them. They're wearing leather jackets, and they're all wearing like crowns of like fake twigs, kind of like not real twigs because plants aren't a thing in this city, but kind of like you know, cardboard that are made to look like twigs. So there's like 5 blokes with like, yeah, these fake crown of branches and sprigs and whatnot, and they're heading up towards the Lost Tortoise, which I'm imagining definitely has a cute tortoise mascot on their awning. It's a neon flickering thing where it looks lost, and then someone hands them ramen, and then they suddenly smile. But yeah, that's enough scene setting for me. What are y'all doing as kind of like this gang comes up? Like, are you even nearby? Do you even go to the Lost Tortoise? You can completely disregard this and be somewhere else. I'm not gonna say no.
So I'd say I found one of those PDFs online, and it's sort of a game, but it's also about laying down like a bunch of tarot cards, and that is like the game engine. See what I'm doing here? So I just think me being closely connected with the dead, I think I'd be a tremendous fortune teller, and that's what I'm trying to learn right now. When I like, for some reason, weird cards keep showing up, and I don't know a thing about tarot, so I have to skip the detail here. But there's a real bad omen in front of me, and I look up, and there's a bunch of those guys just in front of this of my favorite bar.
Are you in the bar when you're doing this, or are you like outside? You're out. Are you outside being a fortune teller?
No, I'm inside. I'm just trying to learn my newfound profession, and trying to figure out how to work with the cards. And then there's like 3 empty bowls next to me, like stacked on top of each other. And then I do read the bad omens from the card, and I just look up, and it's right in front of me. So I think I'm quite good with that. Is anybody with me? Like, anybody just like giving me a weird look?
I do think Quest is there, probably criticizing your use of tarot as an inferior human mechanism for determining destiny. There are far more precise and accurate models of divination than tarot.
Okay, so I'm willing to listen to your wisdom, but just as my cards predicted, look at this, at those guys outside.
Yeah, that really annoys me. That really annoys me in my head, as you do actually accurately predict something. Like, I look at you and I just sort of say, "This proves nothing," and then I go out to confront them.
Yeah, and I'll smile because I just know there is no way I can get you to commit that I did something right, and I just follow.
Before we come to like what the two of you are gonna do, I want to know if Sky or Euphoria are around, or maybe not. I don't know. What do you think?
I was thinking that. I was imagining Sky just there, kind of eating ramen. Maybe kind of arrive later, and it's kind of like just got a bowl and has their hood kind of pulled over their face as they do when they eat, because no one ever sees their mouth open, and just you hear a sigh from their speaking cube as kind of Quest gets up to confront this gang and kind of put down my bowl of ramen and kind of peel back my hood, and speaking cube kind of disappears into a kind of a concealed pocket.
Oh yeah. I think I just add like a bit of flavor. I think you'll see like as you're kind of walking past one of the probably waitresses in the bar. Let's call her Windy. Is just suddenly come up with like bowls of ramen. Is just giving it out to all like the customers, kind of like willy nilly, and I think I'll say like this is kind of typical whenever like something is about to happen in front. The Lost Tortoise just start giving out free ramen to anyone who kind of like just look. Just there are people who are gonna make a fuss. Here's some ramen. If you want to just put your head down. If you want to make a fuss, you do it outside. If not, have some ramen on us. What about you for?
So I wonder, Leandro, is this simultaneous with the kind of cutscene that we had last week, where Euphoria, grabbed one of these gang members, or is this like the next day or something like that?
We can make it simultaneous, because I think like we didn't resolve that
Yeah, that's true.
opening vignette. So yeah, let's make it simultaneous. So could you remind folks, especially here in the table, like what was that vignette?
Yeah, so I think we saw one of these gang members harassing or maybe putting the squeeze on a local merchant or just an inhabitant of the haven. And then with zero warning, Euphoria came up behind them with a length of barbed wire to drag them rather painfully into an alleyway to see them off.
Yeah, I think yeah. So let's say this gang member is the same one. They also got the crown of twigs. I think definitely this guy looks like weathered. His face is kind of like painted camouflagey, but like not like actual camouflage, but more like as if like painted to make it look like bark. Um, that kind of like look. I don't know if they can say much since you're strangling them with barbed wire at the moment. Is there any specific move you're firing off here, or?
I mean, resort to violence. Pain is my tool. Seems appropriate.
Yes.
And I don't think I'm interested in opening a monologue maybe, about how big a mistake he's just made. But maybe I'll give him some breath back for his final words.
You got a price in your head. I ain't gonna be the only one. Yeah. Corpse coming for you, dearie.
For me? Oh, how special.
I think when you kind of like say that, that's when you kind of like notice the I think I think he says something more, and then you just notice the red dot on their head, and then it's like a soft, um, and it's like they've really perfected sniper technology in this time, because it just kind of like it's so clinical, and he suddenly kind of like slumps in your arms. Um, um, and let's just say, because you're an Esper, you can feel like someone is like watching you from afar. You can feel that dot kind of like hovering over your face, even. Um,
Yeah, I think I will kind of stare impossibly accurately across the city or the open space of the haven, and kind of look right down the laser beam, and I think I'm inclined to um, wink and then disappear around the back of the building.
cool. All right, we'll come back to you in a minute. For now, we're gonna start with these three. Since one of the threats we have is nearby gangs, and one of the Haven moves is face a threat and its consequences, the three of you get a token. And you know what? Even Euphoria can see, since you went and took care of that gang member. I'm just gonna hand tokens like candy, basically. So yeah, I think like this gang, who again you see all five of them are like made up with like bark makeup. Um, the head on top, the kind of like the guy in front, kind of like has his like hair not unlike mine, as in like kind of like disheveled, bowl cut ish. Um, um, kind of like says, "Hey, hey, you lot the ones running this joint, because he ain't gonna be running this joint anytime soon."
We don't run things, no. But who might you be?
Well, in case I notice, we're moving in. We're called the Sylphs. We are, and well, we're here to just move in, and if you're gonna say anything to the contrary, well, I'll say something to the contrary back.
Violent means have violent ends, friend. And it isn't always certain where that falls. Look, I have a neutral move that says hide my wisdom in riddles, so
Yeah, I think like this friend will kind of like, well, one can know where violence ends when one's strong enough. Friend, are you strong enough? Any of you?
One quick question. Is the other guy dead by now, like in this scene?
Yes, let's say that.
Okay. I want to look like him because that's what I do.
Okay. All right. I think, let's see. Is there like a move you want to trigger with that, or you want it to just happen? Because if you get twitted to a move, then I can like respond. But if not, that's perfectly
fine. I mean, there are several moves. So there's one that says allow a lost spirit to take over your body, which is maybe not appropriate because it's more like something rather reactive. I can't, but I've got a neutral move that says describe evidence of death and grief that somehow responds with this, and
yeah, I think that's good. How can you tell me, like, do you like transform in front of them, or did you just start looking as soon as like?
I mean, if they pay attention, I think I go with the cyberpunk aesthetic. So my appearance just starts to flicker a bit, and it looks like my persona is there's a glitch, and then I'm just like it flickers, and when it comes back, it's like that other person. And I say, oh, I think your friend just tried the same, and he wasn't strong enough.
I think you morphing to a friend makes this guy really incensed. I think he's like, what? There's some a magic trick. Why are you putting on my brother's face like that? Why are you? And I think his gang has to like hold him back as he's kind of like getting really pissed off.
Well, you don't have to trust me. Maybe your brother, as you call him, has something to say. And now I think I would give my body to that ghost and let that ghost speak for itself.
All right, take that token. I think like this body whose name is Mac. We'll give him that name, Mac. I don't know why. I'm imagining he is like a younger Jason Statham. So imagine him young. I think like he like falls to his knees and he is like trying to like talk, but it's like hard because I think it's because his last moments were his breath was somewhat constricted, and then he got shot, and then it was all, Adric, these are bloody monsters. They are. You, you, you. They, I don't know where I am. I'm in. Adric, you gotta save me. And I think he pilots your body to like grab like Adric by like the car. And it's like, you gotta bloody save me. I don't know where I am. And I think that that rallies the other four. They let go of Adric, who's kind of like frozen as you, Mother Sleep, wearing Mac's face, is kind of like looks bewildered. And the four kind of like, hey, hey. And I think they start kind of taking out these like batons, kind of like stun batons. And Sky, I saw you were unmuting there for a few moments. Is there anything you wanted to do as the situation goes?
Am I? Oh yes. I just kind of walk up quite casually to one of these people and say, "We're the monsters? It's you who have clothed yourselves in these crude simulacra of the forest. I think it cruel that you would mock the beauty of the forest so and take it as a mark of violence." And then I smile, an open-mouthed smile, and you see behind my lips a kind of a raging maelstrom of wind, and you hear the sound of kind of branches slapping against branches and strong falling rain. And then I close my mouth and it's suddenly silenced. I think I'm embodying the uncontrollable anger of the planet.
Oh gosh. Well, you absolutely are. And I think since it's a weak move, I'm gonna respond by, I think they're gonna panic for sure. I think like two of them will run because fuck that noise. Um, but Adric will kind of like grasp Mother Sleep's slash Max slash his brother's wrist and go, "Don't worry, Mac. I want to save you. I got these tricks for them monsters." And I think they're gonna like pull out a cube. He's gonna pull out a cube from his pocket and he's gonna like press it, and I think he's going to explode in like a it's not an explosion. It's gonna explode in like a ball of like kaleidoscopic kind of like light. Um, as I think like in his panic, he can like mispress the button, and suddenly there's like this expanding, weird like five stained glass windows stacked on top of each other effect that starts cascading from him, and it kind of like refracts everyone's vision, and it kind of like starts expanding from his like hand. um, um, as I think, did I say two? I think the other four did run, and I think it's only Adric here who's kind of like left. I'm gonna turn to Quest. Um, your riddles kind of like spooked them off. I guess. Is there anything here you want to do?
Yeah. Hmm. So, so this thing he is like, it does it seem to be like this thing that's expanding out from his hand? Is it like, does it seem to be like killing him, or is it just, or is it like does it seem to be having any effect? Like, is he still fine, or is it just like?
I think it's hard to see. Actually, I would say right now that like it's hard to see him and Mother Sleep as this kind of happening. But as far as you can tell, as it's expanding towards you and Sky, it seems to be a visual effect. And you can't see the two of them at the moment.
Okay. Okay, I was just checking. Yeah, I think that I will I reach out to the shrines made of to the shrines of, to these various shrines that we said are around the haven, and I call on the little gods to clothe me, and I think I find the little god interface, who clothes me in a dress of simulacra, and with which I might enter into this distortion field. And I am inviting the little god to permanently take up residence within me. But I am praying to them for a miracle and using a strong move.
Ooh. Hell yeah. Let's see. Okay, yes. Miracles are easy to receive even in godforsaken cities. Reach out to little gods in the area and pray for a miracle. Hell yeah. What is this like? What is this a god of, or is it just a little god?
Yes, it's as I said. It is literally the god. It is literally the little god of interfaces.
Ooh, yeah. So I think like you reach out to this god, and I think like they kind of like time slows for a bit as this kind of like small god kind of like appears to you in like in code kind of around you. Actually, you tell me, since you're the saint, what does this little god look like?
I mean, I kind of imagine that it is like this kind of roiling dress of just because I'm sort of imagining this as like a very like techie god, that it is like this roiling dress of like screensavers and desktops. And like I feel like it's like an animated screensaver that is bedecking me and protecting me through its simulacra.
Yeah, I think like the god kind of speaks to you and say, "Oh, a human shape. Fascinating. I I have long been built for keyboards and code and circuits and screens. You are none of those." or are you all of those?
I
After all,
am more
what
things
is
that you can count, and you may become part of me, and I may become and wear me as you see fit. Stride out with me into this beast.
Hmm. It would be interesting to actually be able to stride for once instead of simulating a stride. It'll be a treat. Yes, let's do this. Let us be clothed together. You
Yeah, all it's ever going to do is wander around endless labyrinths.
That'll be fun. Yeah, so I think the God of
Sorry,
Interface.
that is a 90s reference for you youngins.
Yeah. Um sorry, not realizing what the reference is defeating me. All right, so I think you'll be clothed in the simulacra of this interface, and you'll like stride into like this cascading light. Meanwhile, I think Euphoria, you'll see like four more of those gang members of this bloke you killed kind of like run past almost. Um, and yeah, you'll see probably like, oh, there's a light coming from near where the lost tortoise is.
I mean, mysterious goings on and curiosity seem like good hooks, but there are four gang members running in fear, and like that is just catnip, right, for an Aswang. So, um,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I am gonna hunt them down,
Okay.
like dogs or ducks or something.
Okay. Cool. Are you using your elemental magic for this? You have that hunt
Um,
them down, hunt your
so
prey.
hunt my prey seems like a good one to use in terms of elemental magic. Push against your programming and activate predator mode. Name your prey, these four chumps. Until you switch targets or have them in your grasp, you will always know where they are and what they fear. The GM will tell you how you become fearful in turn, so long as your protocols remain stable and your heart is strong. You have the power to terrify, mesmerize, and distract your prey. Um, so, uh, so I think I can use my elemental magic with necessary cruelty. I think there's no reason that they should know that I'm hunting them, but I will call out to them in hunting, uh, cutting tones, and maybe appear mysteriously in alleyways on their flanks, and really just harry them until they can't take it anymore.
Gosh, okay. I'll say how you become fearful in turn. I think like your true form is like leaking through. And I think like your face kind of becomes like parts of it are human, but parts of it are blackened wire, almost kind of like poking through the face. And we'll leave it at that. I think yeah. Okay.
Could I add a detail?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if like that loop of barbed wire that I had just like wrapped around my forearm back in the alleyway, and now it starts to grow around me, and then it bites in and it reveals like this darkened wood beneath.
Gosh. Okay. Fab. I think we're gonna take our first break soon, but what I'm gonna add is like when you reach your final kind of like target, I feel like you spend a merry chase, taking down these gang members. I think when you find your last one, it is in an alleyway, and yeah, you do that, the chomp, and then like can I ask like you one of your NPCs you bonded to is a long lost sibling. Do they know your siblings, or are they just like um someone who works at the corp?
Um, yeah, I think we must know each other because otherwise it's not half as much fun in a short run.
Hmm. Yeah, I think let's see. You gave them a name. Yes, Adrian. No relation to Adric. Um I think like Agent kind of like you hear Agent's voice in behind you being like, someday I'm gonna have to get used to that. Seeing you like that.
And I turn slowly. Do I see like a laser dot like flicker across my form, or am I drawing?
No, I think you see Adrian. They've got a big. He's got a big coat on. He's got a hood on. Hands in his pockets. He he has his eyes hidden in like mirror shades because why not? Let's add some mirror shades. That are kind of like flickering, but then he kind of like turns them up, and he does look like a bit freaked out. Busy night.
I would expect no one would ever get used to this.
No, not really. Uh, okay, so we're gonna come back to this scene, but let's take our first break since we've been here for like an hour, and then we'll kind of come back to whatever is happening outside the tortoise. Let's come back at 40 past the hour, if that's okay, folks. Cool. Pause here. Okay, so let's come back to this brouhaha in front of the lost tortoise, specifically with Mother Sleep. So, being in the epicenter of this like kaleidoscopic explosion, here's what you're kind of like seeing. In front of you, Adric, the leader of this Silk gang, is kind of like unspooling in front of you. It's like he's being deconstructed, being Picassoed, so to speak. Um, as this like cube, explodes in his hand. Although I think everything's kind of like slow motion for you. I think like the camera sees is that like you're also kind of like deconstructing, but what's happening is that like the spirit that was Mac is kind of splitting off of you as this light kind of like spools out, and in slow motion this deconstructing Picassoing version of Adric is almost reaching, trying to reach for your throat, so to speak. What do you do?
Does the space we're in feel somehow familiar, or is this like totally artificial?
It's totally artificial.
Okay, so this is tech that feels like magic.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. And in this case, well, this is supposed to be my realm. And those guys trying to overpower me, they try to create realms that are supposed to be my territory, but without allowing me to rule over it. So I think I'll grab his hand instead. So I try to grab his hand before he can reach my throat, and I say, "Child, you don't understand that we all are one, but my powers will reach beyond your existence on this planet. So if you're willing to live another day, you better let go."
So move behind that. I can respond. I just want to know. If not, like I think.
Oh, that is a strong move, because I think this is make what you hope for real. So, and I'm hoping to gain control over this plane or this realm or whatever this is.
Yeah. I think what happens is you grab onto his hand, and I think like your touch kind of like now that kind of like your spirit of their brother is kind of like being separated off. I think like it is like more soothing because suddenly you're kind of like this stable thing in this like expanding ridiculous kaleidoscopic light. And like his grip on your hand tightens, kind of like, and his face turns from like anger to consternation to like fear, as you're kind of like, you know, projecting this kind of like um warmth is a strong word, but it's kind of like a warmth, I guess. And I think like we're gonna turn to Quest and then to Sky. Quest, clad in in robes of simulacra, you're marching away through this like, and I think like you can see in the kaleidoscopic light almost kind of like the faces of Mac and Mother Sleep and Adric, kind of being reflected in the light. It's all kind of like a weird illusory effect, and it seems like it's not stopping the kaleidoscopic light, but the little god of interfaces is definitely helping you like uh, go through this place kind of like, you know, unscathed. What are you planning to do, Quest?
Well, I think that as I like come upon like come towards them, I think I'm kind of coming on to where like the end of that conversation between uh Mother Sleep and Mac, was it?
It's Adric. Mac
Oh,
is the one who
Adric.
died. Yeah.
Okay, Adric was occurring, and there are powers in this world that are not meant for your kind. Allow me to guide, allow me and Mother Sleep to guide you out of this poison you wield. And I am giving someone the gift of faith.
Man, pulling off the strong moves on the in the first session of play. That's interesting. Um, I think let's see. Adric is holding Mother Sleep's one of his hands. I think the other hand they kind of like let go of the cube that's corrosing the light, and they almost kind of like fall to like their knees. And I think you can hear him kind of like, you know, weeping as again. It's like not, if there was one father of stability, now there's kind of like two. um, how are you like giving them like faith? Like, is it just like two words?
Like I'm sort of offering them the opportunity to place their trust in Quest and me. I mean in me and Mother Sleep.
Quest and Steven. Hell, cool. I think like, yeah, I think maybe Adric almost kind of goes for your hand as well, Quest, and we just kind of get this shot of him holding on to like both your hands on his knees, kind of like crying, and it's making a mess of his bark makeup. He kind of looks more pathetic.
Yeah, and I do think though that I think that means Mother Sleep and I are fostering hope or peace in the Haven by like, unlike some people, not just murdering everyone.
Yeah, I think I want to come to Sky in a moment because there's a thing here that's not yet the thing. The thing that's not yet escalated is the cube itself, because it's going up in the air, but the kaleidoscopic nonsense is still blaring from it. And so far it does look like all it's doing is kind of like blaring this nonsense, but I think what you see, Sky, since you're outside of where it is, but it's still kind of expanding. It's like it is kind of blurring and kind of covering up the world around. So it's like as if it keeps like going, it'll be hard to like make sense of things as that's happening. So Sky, you're, yeah, you're still outside the Lost Tortoise. but this light is kind of like expanding out. Well, no, just because euphoria is certain of it doesn't mean it's true. But yes, Sky.
So, I think I'm not sure exactly what this is, but it seems like a threat to me, and I think I instinctively want to neutralize the threat. So I want to use my elemental magic with uncanny precision. And which element should I use? I think I reach out the element of water, and I can, given that it's with uncanny precision, I think that what you see is I close my eyes, and on this cube in the center that I can't even see at this point, ice blossoms and rhymes the thing, and then melts immediately, and I'm looking to kind of crack open its shell with the expansion of ice and then short it out with the water.
Hell yeah. I'm imagining Sky looks quite majestic when they're doing this. Since uncanny precision.
I'm thinking that I have, maybe you see just one, my human form flickers on around one finger, and you see kind of a pale blue flower twining around the finger and kind of like shivering as this ice blooms in the cube.
Sorry, give me a sec. I'm putting up a picture of Adric in the NPCs. Yeah, I think through the chaos, through the light, yeah, your magic slithers through and finds the cube, and yeah, because you went with a kind of position, I think yeah, it will kind of short out, and kind of in an instant, as soon as you short it out, light goes suddenly, and you see this the thug in dryad cosplay on his knees crying with Mother Sleep, holding on to both Mother Sleep and Quest. Cool. I think the last beat of that will be Windy, the waitress, poking their head out of the Lost Orders, being like, "Is everything okay? Is it all done?"
I think I turn and draw out my speaking cube, and I say, apologies for the commotion. I wish this could have been done more quietly to disturb you and your patrons less.
Yeah, I wish that too. Okay, let's move away there for a moment and come back to Euphoria. Yeah, do you see Adrian a lot? Why is he a long lost sibling? I guess is my question.
Yeah, that is a question, isn't it? So are we both elementals?
It's up to you. Your sibling.
I mean, that makes a certain amount of sense, right?
Yeah. Maybe they're a duende, which is like the crafts person, kind of like elemental. They build things.
Yeah. And somehow, I think maybe there was a spin-off of the or a core division, and that's why he is working for a different corps than I was when I rebelled. So, does that make sense?
Funny, he hasn't rebelled yet, has he?
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is like, how literal are we treating like siblings in this world? Is this your literal sibling, or is this like used to actually be just like one being until like you two like broke off from each other or something?
Like, does that have to be something different because we're elementals?
Oh, that's what I was saying. Is it like an act? It doesn't have to be. That's why I was just asking. As one end is like, are they just your literal sibling in this case, or is it something different here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure what literal sibling means when we're elementals, right?
Yeah. I guess is it sibling by like human standards of what we mean when we say sibling?
Yeah, we were. I mean, there is some lineage in common, and
right. Okay.
We were young together, right? Something like that. Something very kind of basic.
Yeah, I think Adrian's gonna like gingerly kind of like walk around to the corpse that you're kind of like standing over, and start rifling through their pockets. And I think he's like, I hope you don't mind. Oh, could you sorry, this is gonna sound weird, but could you like move a few inches away? It's
and I think
the wire's getting to me.
Like Euphoria is struggling with their emotions, especially given that they've kind of seen their true form bubble to the surface unexpectedly, and his kind of casual remark kind of helps her to forget about it a little bit. And I think with a smirk, she'll say, I mean, I can hardly object to you plundering when I've just murdered.
Well, it's not really plunder when I'm just here retrieving assets that the corp owns. And I think they flip down their mirror shades now, and I think he takes out like a kind of like a mini tablet from this guy's kind of pocket, and a cube as well. It was going to be a bit harder to get this back, but well, you kind of solved it for us, so thanks, I guess.
And what's your interest in these thugs?
Oh, well, there's some stuff coming out of the sensorium that is kind of being tested out, and it ended up in the hands of some of these thugs. Looks down at the, I guess, face down kind of like corpse. And well, management is kind of deemed they probably should be giving out to people who are less likely to throw these around. You wouldn't want to throw these around, Fee. You really wouldn't.
You always do what management insist on?
Wow. It's not. Management hardly has to insist on much these days. It's all gentle persuasion. It's euphemisms, basically. I think like he definitely looks uncomfortable talking to you right now.
I think I will let that moment of uncomfortableness extend longer than a normal person might. I'm not filling the silence with pleasantries or euphemisms.
I think like as this kind of like awkwardness kind of extends, I think he's gonna like, well, we should like set up actual meeting times. I don't think we ever do that. Properly kind of like catch up. Uh, you know.
Yeah. Have your people call my people.
uh, well, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'll think about that. Oh, by the way, have you heard from? And then his mouth makes a movement, but you don't hear what he says.
I'm not sure I know who you are referring to.
Oh. Well, I guess I didn't get to know them before they died, but you were close to them. Their name is, and then they tried to say that name, and again, it is blank.
It sounds like you've got some executive override in your brain, little brother.
Well, okay. Why don't you say their name then? I'm gonna say, like, if it's okay, can I say, like, if you try to say their name, it also comes out as blank?
I think at that moment, Euphoria will not say their name because, like, why would I say their name? They don't mean anything to me, But maybe directly after, they will try to say the name to themselves, like walking down the alleyway to discover the same thing is happening, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That'll save us some time from having to name that NPC. And deepen some mysteries. Yeah, so yeah, I should do some token upkeep. Previously, the three of you should have gotten a token for, as I said, face a threat and its consequences. And yeah, Euphoria, you can describe how you're intimately connected to one of the enslaved, which your brother is definitely one. You get a token for that. Also, I think I'll also give you a token for uncovering a corpse secret, and that these cubes are being handed out to just would be random gangs. Cool. So there's kind of like a moment for like take a breather, and then because I hard framed everyone kind of like to a thing, there's kind of like a moment to see like what do you all want to do, because as much as we now have a campaign structure and whatnot, it's still kind of like belonging outside belonging. We can still go into idle dreaming and kind of like dream up when you want to see who do you want to interact with, um, what do you want to do. We've got some NPCs, we've got some threads going.
I want to make sure that this group, these sylphs, don't threaten the lost tortoise again. So I'm going to come up to Adric and just and say, you will help us prepare the bodies of your compatriots to be taken back to where you came from. And and then I look to Mother Sleep, and and I say, will you help us stand vigil over their ghosts a moment? I think I'm asking you to listen to ghosts.
Yeah. I'll say you'll find me picking up the bits and pieces of that cube that we just saw, and I'm like, what? Oh yeah. I'll take care of them. And then I'll go up to Adric, and I'll start questioning him about where he might have gotten the cubes, and like for faces, because I think faces do mean much more to Mother Sleep than names ever would. So I'm not asking for a name, I'm asking for like details, for like eye color, for hair color, for I don't know, like cybernetics or anything like that.
Oh, this is gonna be annoying for you then, because when Adric explains kind of like, the folks who came to like gave them some of these cubes, they had like different kind of clothes, but they had like these facial imaging tech to hide their faces. So
Ooh.
so what it's doing is like there's a Keanu Reeves movie that did this, Scanner Darkly, where it's like their faces are like ever shifting, so like a patch of it always is changing. So suddenly my beard could like disappear, and I'd have like different eyes, and it just keeps morphing. So uh when Adric kind of like describing it, he's trying to be helpful, because you were very helpful to him. But he's talking about how, yeah, he was his gang was just found by specifically one of them. He was wearing a hoodie. They got the hood up and this facial imaging, and they showed off what like the cubes could like do. um Usually those cubes are like a bit more directed. I think so one way Euphoria got lucky on, so you are running into her brother who could just tell her, oh yeah, this is our shit. But to Adric, it was definitely like mysterious like figure who had an ever shifting face.
So on that, I'll say, because I have something that is similar, like my face sort of shifted when I let the other one, like when I talked to Adric in the first place, and his brother, like I lent the face of his brother. So I'm going to ask what painful memory stalks me, because I think this, just the imagery he described, triggers something in Mother's Sleep.
Hell yeah. What painful memory. Let me look at your stuff. Yeah, I think yeah, as he's kind of like describing, yeah, the faces, I think like and you can tell kind of like this isn't like some cube creating this. This is kind of like the memory itself almost kind of like bleeding out from him, and only you can like see this, like to Quest or to Sky, even to Adric, you won't be able to see it, but like I think you will see kind of like um the world shift into kind of like this um dingy kind of like abandoned nightclub, where this gang, the sylphs, which I just realized are air spirits, and yet they've dressed up like dryads, so maybe they should just be the dryads, or maybe they're just that informed about mythological creatures. Um, yeah, that this nightclub scene kind of like forms around and almost kind of bleeds out, and I think like um it's uh it's Mac and Adrian kind of like and I think you see kind of like this memory almost like um kind of like in bits and pieces, like in montage, and you can like barely like hear what they're saying, but you can tell that like it's brothers they uh, um, they help each other out. They stand by each other. I think this kind of in the aftermath of meeting, and you see for yourself the shape shifting kind of like figure. And I think like I guess I should ask, like, when you ask for a painful memory, is it one of yours or just a memory?
I think it could be both because as Mother Sleep is so closely connected to the dead and the ghosts of the dead, I feel she could lose the sense of being an individual. So if this is a memory that somehow involves death, it is also part of their themselves. So yeah. So if they yeah, like we established that the brother died, and I like Mother Sleep took his face. I think that's a connection, and now they feel like the pain and suffering that comes with all those memories, and they feel closely connected to whatever happened there, even though they weren't there at all.
Yeah, I think what I want to add to that is like I think it's not just the pain and suffering. I think you're taking on Max like hopes and dreams that he shared with his brother. And I think like Adric, sorry, not Adrian, sorry. I'm gonna mix up those two characters. Adric is kind of like I think like as this memory almost kind of like fades out. I think like Adric is gonna look at you, Mother Sleep, and it's like, so he is dead. Aye. That wasn't the trick, right?
No, it was not. He's indeed dead, but it was not by the hand of one of us.
I can believe that. Do you know where he is? I want to.
No, you see, whenever a spirit leaves its body, it's much closer connected to the realm of death, to Salat, than it would ever be to the body again. So therefore, I can, maybe you would call it conjure the spirits, because they're way closer to my home than they are to this world.
I just want to say goodbye, you know?
And I think that I somehow try to let what was the other's name, to let Max speak through me, but
Why are you doing this, internet? Hello?
Hello again.
Hello. Sorry about that. That was
No
annoying.
worries.
The funny thing is, like, if this was still a GM-less game, y'all could have just carried on.
yeah.
You won't believe what's happened in your absence.
We're just stuck with this GM called Leandro. It's terrible.
I know. Terrible. He should just relinquish his power. So I cut off as like you're about to let Max speak through you.
Yeah, I think I want to make it happen, but I can't, because there's just so much going on, and so many things that I I'm not really mother sleep right now. I'm something way more individual than I want to be. So right now I feel I'm more some sort of like I'm closer to being an actual question than to being mother sleep, because right now all they can think about is what's this tech, what's it doing, where is it coming from, and why does it feel so threatening. And therefore I try to let Max speak through myself, but I can't keep a stable connection, just like the experience you got. So like just popping out, like just losing the connection to Mac, in a most dramatic, like on a most dramatic words, Edric is about to say, and therefore I'll be a disappointment. I don't know if there's a weak move for this, but
use your elemental magic with great consequence.
maybe.
You have let the dead speak as an elemental magic. It sounds like what you're trying to do is let the dead speak, but you're fucking up, or at least there's a consequence.
Oh yeah, the dead will come to you and share their precious secrets. Yeah, they are not doing that. No.
No.
It's failing.
Well, or they're sharing a secret you didn't want to know.
That would be something that Adric would say, right? Because Max would just fade out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what if there's another San Elmo in the city who's selling people's who's like engaged in like a trade of souls or something like that?
Ooh. Hence why your connection is kind of like flickering out. I think what you get is like there is active interference. It's not just that like you're become. I think it's compounding that your sense of like self that's weakening. But I think the dark secret is that like the reason why Mac can't speak to his brother is because someone it is like kind of like white noise, kind of like almost like a static, like you're like a bridge to Sulad, so you can't let this like static cloud it, but it's like you hear it kind of like crawling in your ears, as like suddenly the dead are trying to speak to you, trying to speak through you, but it's crowding your mind. And I think like with that kind of like Adric kind of like is waiting to hear Max speak, but doesn't get it. So I think he's just kind of like, I'm sorry if that was too much. I'll I won't be bothering this place anymore. I'll just go find my brother.
And I think what we see, like whenever those noises come out, like Mother Sleep, just like they're trying to cover their ears and falling onto their knees. And the thing is, what we see is just where the sphere, like where the box opened, there is a little, just like little drops of black and bluish colors. It's just like dripping from Mother Sleep and just disappearing in midst the air where the box just shattered. And that is how we can see there's something actually wounded Mother Sleep, which is a very rare and unusual experience for an elemental, because usually it's just a drain of power, but this actually hurt.
Yeah, I think I kneel beside you and say, I do not think that there is anything more we can learn here. if there is someone dealing in the trade of magic, there's only one place where there's only one market where such things are bought and sold.
But how can this happen to me? I've had these powers all my life. I never failed at such a task. What's happening to me? How can I be of help when my true nature is vanishing from me? And I think I'm just tell you that I'm losing faith.
Yeah, are you asking how does my magic flicker and fade?
It's more kind of like
Okay.
my magic, but your lure is
No, that's what I was saying, that's one of the
yeah.
questions you have.
Oh,
Or I guess you were kind of answering it basically.
yeah, but it's the same, right? Yeah, just so many weak moves and such, so many ways to earn token, but I actually just looked at what your lures are and just took
I think we'll go with the
with
lure
the
because when you
yeah.
ask a question, you're kind of like deferring to someone else to
Yeah.
answer that, but you
Yeah.
already answered it, so we'll just go with the lure.
I look at you and say, we are more than merely a sum of the magic that flows through us. What the vessel does not take its identity from the water it holds. The water takes its shape from the vessel. Again, I have a neutral move, hide my wisdom in riddles, so...
Yeah. And I will say, I'll say, no, you don't know what it feels like. I strongly disagree. We elementals, we are identified by our powers. That's the distinction between ourselves and between us and the humans. We are our magic.
I want to ask Guy if you want to get a foot in this debate. What are you up to?
Not this debate. I think I put a hand on Adric's shoulder as he's leaving, and just say, put my cube close to his ear so I can say quietly, gather your dead, return to where you came from, and let those who sent you know that this place is protected.
I think like Adric does not trust himself to say anything. He just kind of like nods. At this point, yeah, the bark makeup has really run. He looks like a sad theater kid right now.
I mean, did he not look like one before? Or...
Well, sadder.
Okay.
Forgot to take off his makeup and is now in the cast party looking incredibly silly. Theater phase of being a theater kid. But yeah, I think he'll just kind of like nod and kind of not run, but like walk quickly away. Was there any question? Did you have a rejoinder to what Mother Sleep had said, or should we like wrap there?
No, I think that I am like I have made up my mind about how to act, and if Mother Sleep doesn't want to listen to wisdom when they hear it, I won't force it.
There. We've been here for another hour, so I think that's a good time to take a break. When we come back, then we'll kind of like, we'll come back in, let's say 35 past. Chunky enough
Okay.
time. Then we'll come back. We'll set some scenes, maybe with yourselves or with other people, and we'll see how we go from there. Okay, so we kind of like hit like a natural kind of like break in the story, so to speak. So the next bit is going to be basically scenes to be like framed by yourselves. I have some ideas if you'll need some, but like I want to take this like a moment to like see if want to interact with each other, any NPCs, any things you all want to do um um at this moment. If not, that's fine. I have some stuff in the docket. Um, but yeah, is there anything folks want to see slash do? Um, well, we're kind of here, and this doesn't this doesn't have to happen like concurrently, or very soon after all that stuff that just happened. It could be like a day or two afterwards, or a few hours afterwards.
By here, do you mean in the Haven or?
In the Haven, but
Okay.
yeah. But if there's a part of the city y'all want to go to, I'm not gonna say no to that.
Because I mean, I was thinking that clearly, quest that well, not clearly, but that quest would be investigating the market to see if they can find, see if she can find who is selling these things and where they come from.
Cool. Oh, go ahead, Donna.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine though it might take them a bit of time. Euphoria will kind of share her inside track on those devices and the core from which they came. So, not that means you can't continue to investigate or anything.
I mean, clearly, this tech is getting around.
Yeah.
And Adrian was like sent to like retrieve them. And after giving out some of them.
In that case, I just want to make sure that you all know that Mother's Sleep will share their concerns about this kind of technology.
If folks want to go to the market, then we might take some time to like flesh it out. If that's okay with folks.
If that's cool, yeah.
Yeah,
If we
sounds
want to
good
do
to
something
me.
else, we can. Yeah.
I think the other thing perhaps that Euphoria might like to do is to talk to Sky about she who must not be named.
Okay.
Sure.
What about you, Sky? Is there
A
anything?
painful trip down memory lane is always good, right?
At some point, I want to flesh out Sky's relationship with the last guardian of the forest, but that doesn't have to be this session.
Yeah, I think we can find some time. Cool. Let's flesh out the market first, and then maybe do some PC to PC stuff, and then we'll see where we go. Okay, so if folks want to go to the city tab, there is the market. In the city, everything has its price, and everything is for sale. Talk to the right people, step into the right alleys, and you'll find everything you need. But if you can create enough contacts, we can build what we need for the rebellion. So there are people here who and as we kind of like in the course of BALIKBAYAN, if you feed more tokens to it, you'll build more contacts into this place. But first, let's build up all the other stuff. So it's much like the Haven, where it's got a leader, aesthetics, and threats and moves. I'm gonna share the screen for anyone who's watching, so it'll be easier. But first, let's pick a leader. And oh no, I can't. Oh, there we go. I can click now. For some reason, I couldn't click. Okay, I think I'm gonna ask Steven to pick this. Who's the leader of the market? Is it Stella, a tattoo artist and ambassador?
Well,
Is
I
it
picked the leader for the last one. Does somebody else want to?
Okay.
I'm just saying, just because I had that last time. If somebody else wants to be able to choose it this time.
Okay. Okay. I will ask. Let's see. I'll ask Mother Sleep. Mario, do you want to pick a leader for the market?
May I think I go with the last one with Sine. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think it's just Sin.
Sine.
I think it's sign, like
Sign.
Nemesign.
Okay. I don't know what it means, but never mind. Because I think we just established that there is at least one other San Telmo, and I don't want to have just duality. I like to have more of them, and maybe we don't know the connection. Like going forward between Mother Sleep and them, because both are struggling with their connection to Zulat, right? So if that's okay with the others, because that's just personally like the most interesting.
Is that good, folks? Cool. So sign assigned Elmo who has lost their connection to Sulad. I'm sure them and Risu have tips about how to deal with that. Before I want you to pick one of the market aesthetics.
I like prophets on street corners that replace memories with faith.
Okay. Wow. What a surface. No. Okay. Cool. That's there. I like that this market is going to be like a kind of contrast to the small marketplace y'all have in the Haven. This is like, this is like a big, dirty, sprawling street market feel. Got profits on street corners. Lovely. Sky, why don't you pick the second market aesthetic?
So to go with the contrast, I think I'm going to go for mazes of light and sound.
Hell yeah. Everyone's got like, their holographic floating bouncy bodies in front of their stalls. They used to have real ones, but they replaced with the holographic stuff. And Quest, why don't you pick the third aesthetic?
Yeah, I think that. I'm just torn between the two. Yeah, I guess we'll lean to this. Artist coves that purchase emotions.
Gosh, it's probably not hard to purchase anger or frustration. But it's probably what would be a rare
but
emotion?
that's why they only like give you pennies on the jewel of anger.
Try buying consternation. Yeah, what constitutes as consternation? I don't know.
I mean, you're just trying to make a market niche for yourself, Leandro.
Well, yeah. How else would you get? Okay. How else would you earn anything? Okay. Doubling back to Mother Sleep. What's a threat you think is interesting?
Rick, I need to open it on my screen because it seems to be cut off on my screen. So just a sec. I think I'd like to choose the last one. There's something else that stalks us from the shadows.
Do you have something in mind?
I feel this is something somehow related to those guys without faces.
Yeah,
you know that.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the I was just referring to those guys Adric mentioned, who gave them the cubes.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be something else. That was just what popped up in my mind.
I mean, maybe those are the identity thieves that prey on the vulnerable, but they're quite literal identity thieves.
Maybe.
Like they actually go in and steal people's names and faces. I was just throwing it out.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see. Do we need another one? I think we'll stick with one threat for now. I think we will put at least one market move and one contact just to see what they are. Okay. So market moves are like, haven moves. If you do them, get a token. Move to Euphoria. Is there any of these moves? Or sorry. So I'm trying to remember how this works. I think we got. Did we? No, I think we fed tokens before we unlocked them. I don't think we start off.
Yeah, by default they don't start with any, but we're also only going to be playing for like 4 sessions, so.
True.
If you wanted to add one, I don't think it would hurt.
Yeah. All right,
so it sounds like given changing an aspect of your mind, body, your soul with a new augment, given what we've set up. Or barter something of value.
It's up to Donna.
Yeah, I had my eye on the changing aspect of your mind, body, soul as well.
Cool. And Bodhi, who's like a market contact then? Well, I love how this game is like sometimes Jamie will just drop like, oh yeah, that's some Filipino mythological stuff right there, and they're not going to explain. It's fine. I mean, I can tell you what manananggal are.
Go for it.
Yeah, they're like monster women, or at night they're the top half of their bodies like detach from the legs. They've got
right,
bat
those
wings.
Oh.
They've got like tendril like suckers to like they got like this long like it's hard to describe, like a tongue tube to suck out blood from. They're rad.
Okay. Yeah, I get the idea. I think they sound amazing, but I think I can't resist renegade librarians. I've got to go with renegade librarians.
Hell yeah. All right. We might meet them. I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, it's one of the things for.
Sorry.
Cool. Okay.
Why bring one lot of renegade librarians into the shower when you can bring 2,
right? Beautiful. Okay, so we've got that market set. Why don't we do Euphoria and Sky, and then we'll come to Mother Sleep, and maybe we'll end with Quest, starting off going into the market, if that's okay with folks. We'll see if we can like squeeze in some other stuff. Why don't we start with Fee and Sky? If that's are you two okay with that? Cool. Since I think Euphoria, you proposed the scene, why don't you get to set the scene?
Yeah, so I think maybe Euphoria is struggling with the prospect of going to Sky and asking them, about this subject. And I think maybe if it sounds okay to you, Bodhi, that Sky kind of just comes across Euphoria kind of sitting at a table in the in the turtle, kind of, not eating, but just, kind of obviously troubled over this kind of quandary that she's found herself in.
And I think I noticed that you're brooding, and I think I know that you're someone, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I know that you're someone who kind of like struggles with getting close to people. And so I don't want to come on too kind of strongly. So I think I kind of sit a little, like a small distance away, and just kind of reach over with my speaking cube and put the speaking cube next to you, but keep my own distance, and just say very gently, is there something that you wanted to talk about?
Am I that transparent?
Not usually, but it's clear that something's troubling you right now.
Because I was going for a brooding, implacable monster, and that doesn't seem to have you are sitting. You're sitting in your favorite ramen bar. Brooding, implacable monster is rather out of place here. That's why I asked. I mean, if an Aswan can't hang out in their favorite,
Yeah. Everyone who's watching, listening to this, my internet gave out. So at some point, I figured out how to clutch these recordings together. But yeah, so Bodhi asked like if Sky could name the NPC. Honestly, I was just inspired because they didn't have a name. It was just triple XXX as if it's been redacted. I think that's just it. Like I don't think even you, Sky, unless you make some serious effort. If you're just casually gonna try to name them, I think it just comes out blank.
So maybe for me it looks like the because I was speaking through my speaking cube, it's kind of where I try to name them, there's just this squeal of feedback and static suddenly, and like I try harder, and there's kind of more and louder feedback, and I think we probably I certainly end up putting my hands over my ears, and then kind of probably give this cube a whack to kind of try and shake it loose, and say, huh, I see what you mean. That's rather disturbing.
so they're back and powerful beyond belief, I guess, and protective of their identity, which is fine. But
how do you feel about them being back?
I should be happy, Rich. I mean, I kill them essentially, and yeah, I should be overjoyed. I should like beg for forgiveness or something, right?
It seems to me that you might, given where they've ended up and how far their influence now reaches, I'm not sure that they need your forgiveness at this point. Maybe it's all well that ends well.
Oh, that is enticingly selfish way to get me off the hook, isn't it?
I think I'm now. Oh, yes. I say. Sorry, I had something then. Let me think for a second.
No worries.
Oh, yes. I say, oh, it's just, and I think I'm pulling a weak move here. I think I'm hurting someone important to me. Oh, it's just that I'm not sure that they would see you as a relevant concern anymore, given their elevated status.
Ouch. Like,
and I think
I just give you a steak? It'll be easier, right?
I think Sky here did. Just to kind of explain out of character for a second, I think Sky is not quite realizing what they're saying until after they've said it, and kind of like you see Sky blush and cringe, and kind of it's just slipped out. It's clear that I haven't forgiven you. I'm not brilliant at all this human emotion stuff, so it's kind of like this was unintentional, but I can't quite bring myself to apologize either.
Yeah, so I think I'll toss the speech cue back to you, and stand up and straighten the jacket, and run a hand through my hair and say, well, lovely to catch up. I'm definitely back to my old self.
And I feel, and Sky, just as you walk away, just sighs and kind of rests their head on the table.
I have a neutral move, cause a chill to run down someone's spine, and I think that's appropriate, right? There's an element of pure predation, or in how Euphoria speaks and kind of holds herself in that move to get up and to leave the Ryman hut. You're muted, Leandro.
That I am. All right, let's move to Mother's Sleep. I just want to know what they're up to, because I don't think we've seen them in a while. And we'll probably close off with Quest. So yeah, Mother's Sleep. What have you been up to after the not great interaction with not just Quest, but the whole static stuff? not being able to come to to Adrix. Aid, how are you doing?
I'm sitting in like, oh no, I'm sitting on the rooftop. Just like we've seen them in the opening scene, but this time without a sad yet joyful dancing. This time they just sit on the edge of the rooftop, and we see them bleed their black and blue drops of color into the world, which resembles their magic. And we see the drops not like, we see them floating and then disappearing. And they sit there and watch this happening for like what seems to be minutes, because everything in the background is moving super fast. So we see this kind of like a time lapse montage, and then we see that they close their eyes and they look towards Sulat, which is also a neutral move. And if I'm not really sure if that is a move or something, but I think I'll discover, like while doing this, I'll discover something. And this is that this place couldn't be like this place where the magic is disappearing to couldn't be further away from Sulat, but sort of if normally if my magic vanishes, I think it is going towards Sulat, because this is Sulat is also where I'm drawing my energy, my magic from to large quantities. So I feel like the corp tried to create a place that is somewhat similar to Sulat, and right now I'm not really sure if that's the solution, but I feel they are trying to create a Sulat on their own to be able to harness the power that lies within it, to maybe harness the ghosts of the dead and dying, and maybe that is part of their immortality protocols, like their plans to become immortals. But that is just like this strong feel. It's more, yeah, right. I think it's not really a thought or a guessing. It's more of a feeling that Mother Sleep gets from it.
Yeah. Can I add to what that feeling is as you kind of look towards Sulad, as you close your eyes? I think there is a void in Sulad, as if like there is like a gaping, sucking hole in in the realm of the dead. Um, that like if anyone walks into that hole, any spirit of the dead, any energy of the dead, it just gets sucked in. And I think like yeah, you just get like that feeling. And I think like the black and blue stuff coming from you, they kind of they come out like just a bit like more profusely, I guess, like as like the strain of like making this discovery that like, oh, someone has like dug a hole through Sulad quite inelegantly, and it's caused quite a lot of stuff, some feedback maybe to any Sant Elmo trying to bridge the gap. It's there's something out there. um, cool. Um, I think that's a good. Is there anything else you want to add to that? If not,
no, I think everything else is we're playing to find out, right?
Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad to put that on on the board then. Incision in Sulad. I think yeah, we're gonna close this out with Quest.
Yeah, I think that like as like we talked about that kind of hole and the color of the blood, I think that those kind of images merge into the panoply of light that is the marketplace. And like as like Quest kind of walks through it now with their dress of, because it is a part of me now, their dress made of my simulacra dress, kind of strobing with the light. And I think that we kind of land on maybe is it like a club or like a vice den of some sort that is run by Scene.
Ooh, yeah. I think it's kind of like yeah, let's make it a
Oh, you know
club,
what?
but
It's like the Seven Muses is the club, or is it Nine Muses? I forget what it is.
I think it's Nine Muses.
Yeah, Nine Muses.
Yeah, I kind of want to add that it's kind of like a silent disco in that like you have to like pay. So because
Yeah,
okay, this is taking bits from
it's
this,
like one of those dance clubs where everybody is listening to headphones.
yeah, that is a definition of a silent disco.
Yeah.
They're very neat. Weird though if you don't have headphones. Yeah, I think because I was trying to start describe stuff and I realized no, that's the sensorium stuff. This is the market. Um, um, but yeah, I think it's I think like you have to have like the headphones to actually see like maybe the nightclub in like all its glory. Yeah, it's kind of like earplugs. Instead of like big bulky headphones, you kind of like put on the earplugs, and you kind of jack in. Let's say insert some stuff there. But at the moment, yeah, if you're not like allowed, you're kind of just in the antechamber. You're watching like, oh yeah, there's just a bunch of people kind of like jamming
Yeah.
to nothing.
And would Scene count as one of the faded?
Yes, because they have lost their connection to Sulad. So take a token because that is part of the lure for our magic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think like do you have a connection to Scene? Like how do you know? How do you know her?
I think that it's not a very personal connection. I think that probably if anyone were to have like a personal connection, it's more likely Mother's Sleep. But I think we have a slightly antagonistic relationship between the two of us because I've dealt with her before, but I don't like her.
Yeah.
And I don't think she really likes me. Like it's like a business relationship. It's tense, but like we do business with each other, but we don't have to like each other.
Yeah, I think as a greeting, she just kind of like sighs and kind of like takes a cigarette out that she was kind of like smoking and kind of just crushes in nearby ashtray and it's just you're never here for fun, Quest. So I assume something.
I do not enjoy your sort of fun.
Is there anything you enjoy? Just out of curiosity. You never seem like anyone would enjoy anything.
And I think we kind of do the same thing, where of like because we're all moody about the same person. I enjoyed things once, but I cannot allow myself that again.
No, yeah, well, pity, poor you. That's a pity. I know everyone's got a rap sheet around here, but that doesn't preclude you being able to enjoy anything. Makes you, all it does is just makes you harder for people to stand being around you. What do you want?
The only reason people can stand being around you, Scene, is that you have things they want.
Isn't that how most relationships go? And most things around transactional. Doesn't even have to be anything concrete. Maybe you want companionship, maybe you want friendship, but people always want things.
Don't pretend to know what those words mean, Scene. We have business to do, and that at least I know you understand.
What do you want? are you looking for?
Someone is dealing in magic. I'm not familiar with it. And I think probably I have, like, I forget, did Mother Sleep take the broken device? Because I would have taken it to, like, show here, unless Mother Sleep
I think it was
particularly
Sky
wanted
who
it.
took it.
Oh, okay. If Sky took it, oh, no? Okay.
Was it
I
Mother Sleep?
don't. It wasn't me.
Okay, so
Okay.
I think it was Mother Sleep.
In that
then.
case, wait, so does Mother Sleep have it?
Sorry, I didn't get you last.
Did Mother Sleep
Listen.
have the broken device?
The cube.
Yeah, I gathered the. Yeah, oh yeah, I did gather the bits and pieces because
Right, okay.
I realized there was a connection or an interest.
Yeah, I think I describe it then. It was a cube of some sort. When activated, it was as if we were entering one of the realms beyond.
That could be a lot of things. You'd have to be more specific.
It was as if it reminds me of my journey into the realm of it reminded me of my journey into the realm of the dead. Sulad.
I think like when you mentioned Sulad, like she gets like way more tense. I kind of want to end this on a cliffhanger since we're coming close to time. If that's okay with you, Stephen.
Sure. If we want to end this particular bit on a cliffhanger, I did have like one other kind of characterful thing I wanted to ask of her.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Like, so we can resolve what she tells me there a little bit, but I do kind of want, I had one other like little thought I wanted to bring in.
Yep.
And I'm like, I know that you have had your own difficulties with connecting with Salad. I'm wondering how do you cope with it? I have and I don't want to give away too much, an acquaintance who once had such a connection but finds it weakening. And I do not know what I should offer them, what they need. Because I'm hard as fuck, but I still care about them.
I think Seethes uses she, her. Someone put them in the NPCs tab. Thanks to whoever did that. Sometimes I wonder if everyone around you can be broken down into a charity case in your eyes, Quest.
It isn't charity to love something seen.
You can't love everyone. You don't have enough love for that.
Well, that's what I have you for. And I give them a sarcastic grin.
Sorry, just got a message. Close that. You want to talk to whoever is providing technology. While you're in luck. They're all here. And I think like the faces of everyone in the club start to flicker and start to morph and start to change. they're still dancing. They're still dancing like to some unknown kind of like beat, but then all the faces start to like morph and change and differ. Um,
Cool. Okay.
yeah. And that would I think yeah, that's my cliffhanger, if that's okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. I think yeah, we'll close it there. And oh, just to clarify something in the chat, you, if I remember correctly, you don't access to that Sulad move until you reach the heart of the city, Mario. So I don't think that.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
It
but
could
yeah.
have been seeking out the magic hidden in the city, though, of the magic.
Yeah. Yeah, from the setting elements.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I think that counts there. So I take a token from that. So the very last thing we'll do is that well, there's a chance to spend some of these tokens. We'll kind of just do this, and you know, we don't have compunctions. We have no notions of that we're gonna get too far. But yeah, do you want to? So you can spend your tokens on, and you keep whatever you don't spend. Don't worry about that. You keep them over the week. But if you want, like, you can spend tokens in the market or in the sensorium or in the lab to unlock new moves, or you know, and the contact. Cool. So, anyone spending any tokens?
I'd like to keep one for myself, but I'm willing to spend 4 on any good idea about where to spend them, because I feel we might struggle to actually reach the heart of the city without like trying to do this together real quick, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get there. I think what I'll do is like, since it's a limited time, I will probably just straight up unlock the heart at the end of the next session, so the final session can be like confronting whatever is in the heart, or getting to the heart, if that makes sense. But this is just like to unlock some more moves or like some contacts.
Well, I guess it depends. If we think we're going to be spending a lot of time in the market next session, it might make sense just to unlock something there so that we have more kind of moves related to it. But if we want to kind of branch off to like maybe like if we think that there's some interest to be found in one of the other sites, if somebody else has an idea, I'd also be fine with bringing those in.
There's definitely business in the market given that cliffhanger, so I'd be up for unlocking.
Yeah, I can spend 3.
Move. Yeah, I can spend 3 as well.
I also feel that we might, or at least Mother Sleep might try to find their way to the lab, because the box is perfectly seems to feel like something from that wicked place.
Yeah.
The just as another thread that we might want to pull in Euphoria's dealings with Adrian, he mentioned the sensorium. So whether we want to kind of retcon that into the lab, I don't know if something in there is piquing your interest. But yeah, like dumping a load of stuff into the market right now sounds like the best bet for us.
Yeah.
But we'll make it really easy, because we already got 6 tokens on the market. I'll spend mine 4, so we unlock 1 advancement there, and whatever you'll feel like, feel free to spend it on either the sensorium or the lab. What you think is more interesting? Because also I think I would have reason to change the opinion, Mother Sleep's opinion about the boxes into something that might be related to the sensorium. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess the clue is there for those boxes towards the sensorium. So yeah, I'm happy to run towards that, and maybe give Mother Sleep and Euphoria a chance to get into trouble together.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe to kind of play into some of the stuff we talked about being interested in seeing, maybe the new market move we want to take is explore the remains of a dangerous factory, since that seems to fit a lot what I'm hearing other people say they want to do in the fiction.
Folks,
Cool.
good
Oh,
with that
works for
move?
me.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
same.
also unlock a contact as well, a move and a contact. So let's see. Still haven't met these renegade librarians. But now there are other folks who kind of maybe don't want this market to be around, or at least in such a venal way. Any of these other contacts interest folks?
I do find the idea of, like, I don't know, just as a separate one, maybe well, actually no, I guess playing off some of the stuff we've established, I do like the group of oracles for hire searching for a traitor is interesting. It also plays into some of the imagery we brought in at the start of this session.
Folks good with oracles for hire. Beautiful. Okay. I think that's good. Dana, are you spending your tokens in the other
Yeah,
places?
I've got 3 tokens to spend, so I can dump them all into sensorium. I'm not sure whether that helps us get there.
Yeah. I think Jamie said, like, everything is still in flux. Maybe they'll pare down how many tokens everything needs. Or maybe we'll try out a quarterly, see how that works in the long run. See, but yeah, this is still also still in playtest. Yeah, I think, like, whatever tokens you spend is kind of like saying, like, oh, I'm interested in this. Sensorium sounds good.
I've ticked those boxes now anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel the number of tokens you need to invest should somehow reflect the length or the number of sessions you want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even be a token per planned session. Like, that would work for about a quarterly.
Although if you say we're going to play this for a year, unlocking anything becomes
God, that
maybe
I
it needs a cap. Maybe it needs a cap on it.
All right, cool. So that wraps this session of Balikbayan. Bayang. To anyone who's watching, thank you all so much. To anyone who's listening, thank you all so much. Links down below in the description for this game and to the Gauntlet. Other than that, I'll close this video, and yeah, see you some other time, YouTube. Bye bye.